We continue our reading of Pope Francis's apostolic letter on the liturgical formation of the people. Article 17, and the theme is the healing potential of attending the liturgy. The Pope says, "On different occasions I have warned against a dangerous temptation for the life of the Church, which I called spiritual worldliness. I spoke about this at length in the exhortation Evangelii Gaudium, pinpointing Gnosticism and Neo-Pelagianism as two versions connected between themselves that feed this spiritual worldliness. The first shrinks Christian faith into a subjectivism that ultimately keeps one imprisoned in his or her own thoughts and feelings. The second cancels out the role of grace and leads instead to a narcissistic and authoritarian elitism, whereby instead of evangelizing, one analyzes and classifies others, and instead of opening the door to grace, one exhausts his or her energies in inspecting and verifying. These distorted forms of Christianity can have disastrous consequences for the life of the Church. From what I have recalled above, it is clear that the liturgy is, by its very nature, the most effective antidote against these poisons. Obviously, I am speaking of the liturgy in its theological sense, and certainly not, as Pius XII already affirmed, liturgy as decorative ceremonies or a mere sum total of laws and precepts that governs the cult. If Gnosticism intoxicates us with the poison of subjectivism, the liturgical celebration frees us from the prison of a self-referencing nourished by one's own reasoning and one's own feeling. The action of the celebration does not belong to the individual, but to the Christ Church, to the totality of the faithful united in Christ. The liturgy does not say I, but we. And any limitations on the breadth of this we is always demonic. The liturgy does not leave us alone to search out an individual supposed knowledge of the mystery of God. Rather, it takes us by the hand, together as an assembly, to lead us deep within the mystery that the Word and the sacraments their sign reveal to us. And it does this consistent with all action of God, following the way of the Incarnation, that is by means of the symbolic language of the body, which extends to things in space and time. And perhaps just a brief added thought. We have to recover and cultivate in us this sense of we, that we are celebrating we are praying together as a church, as a local community, as the communion of saints, as the friends of Christ. Those of us who follow the struggles of many churches in the United Kingdom, we can see a very interesting phenomenon in the Church of England. It seems that their General Synod is falling into the trap, or has fallen into the trap of these two dangers, this subjective Gnosticism, when in the worship the I was emphasized. And when in a church in the long run the I is emphasized, our sense of doctrine, our sense of clinging to the fundamental principles of revelation can just be blurred and weakened. So when we develop our sense and cultivate our sense of the we, the praying we are giving support to our Mother Church, we are giving support to the Pope and the bishops who time and again have to make decisions, pastoral or doctrinal. This we is the greatest support to orthodoxy and to preserving our sense of ultimate truths. And ultimately, this is the way which preserves our sense that the human family is one and should be undivided.